Hi guys. Today I'm going to attempt to make a heart hook. You've probably all seen them on various websites, Pinterest and social media sites, etc. So I'm going to have a go, but the workshop is such a tip at the moment. I really ought to be clearing it up. I've been starting to pull a few pallets apart because I want to make a few bits and pieces. There's leaves all over the floor because it's blowing a gale here and they just blow straight through the door. There's bits of pallet line all over the place. There's steps from when I was working on a truck. Just general muck. And I'm not happy with it, but there you go. But I got a bit bored sitting at home at Christmas, so I thought I'd come in between Christmas and New Year and give this a go. So let's get set up. I found a couple of bits of metal. They came off a job where I had to alter a cage, and they're very old. This one's covered in green slime that's been on there for years. They could actually be proper wrought iron. This one, you see where I've ground it off, there's actually brass on there because the cage was brazed together. It wasn't even welded together. So we'll give it a go. If it doesn't work, then we'll have to start again, but I think it'll be fine. What I need to do is put points on both of these and then cut one off at about 6 inches, and you'll see why. It'll become apparent as we get on. So let's start putting some points on. Right, we've got quite a short point, I suppose, a couple of inches or so, 2.5 inches. And as usual, just start on the flats. Don't try and round it off because it'll just spiral and split. So we just bring it out square, and that's perfect for a first heat. Nice and square. Get it warm again. Then we'll work on the diagonals. So now we're going to hold it right on the edge and knock the edges of the square off. So we're working on the diamond bits. And then just keep moving it. You're not hitting it very hard, and the hammer is just literally going up and down, and your left hand's doing all the work pulling it through, just like if you were working on a power hammer. And you'll find as it gets colder, the hammer marks will disappear, and you'll end up with quite a nice finish. So that's, if it'll focus, come on, come on, come on. That's pretty perfect for what we want. It's not, at that perfect, but it's good enough for the job we have in hand. So we'll do exactly the same to the other one, this nasty green one. So a bit of a close up of this. Same again on the flats. This metal is really quite nice to work. I don't know what it is, but it could be proper wrought iron. I didn't do a check on it, but again, that's perfect for a first heat. It's all you need. Then again, work on the sides now, on the corners. You're banging the corners back in, but you don't need much weight behind your hammer, otherwise you'll end up with more flats in it than you actually want. Because now you're trying to get rid of the flats and all the corners, so every little corner you can see you're just working on, and eventually it comes fairly round. Because remember, whatever you're doing on the top is being done exactly the same on the bottom by the anvil, believe it or not. And there you go, that again is perfectly alright for the job we're doing. So, just zoom out a bit, see what we're up to. Okay, if I can find the other one, there we go. Right, I'm going to cut one of them off at about 6 inches and weld it onto the side at something like that sort of angle. Doesn't have to be exact, but it's going to be that type of angle. Right, I've cut that one off, and I've cut it at a bit of an angle, so it just makes welding it on easier. And I'm just going to quickly whip over, weld that on, and then we'll tidy it all up. And as if by magic, it's welded on. And I've given it a basic clean up with the grinder, just to get any real lumpy bits off. And then we're going to blend it in with the fire, forge it back into itself there, and then bend it so that it's not an offset Y like it is now, but it'll be a straight Y with that coming straight down. So let's get that in the fire and give that a go. Right, warmed it up. I'm just going to quickly blend that back in. You can see I'm using the rounded corner of the anvil, so you don't get any sharp corners or sharp cuts put into the bar. And I'm just going to slightly try and bend it down so that we've got the straight bit on the Y. And all the time keeping it moving, otherwise you'll end up with flats that you don't want. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is get a round hammer on the rounded edge or end and go over on the anvil, and that actually is no good, so I want one with a smaller round, so we'll get a ball peen. Just again, keep it moving on the anvil and you'll end up with it nice and smooth. Won't get any flats. So there you go, that's good as we need it really for now. We're going to start curling the arms in. Alright, get one hot, just tap it round. Again, there's not particularly heavy hammer blows. Pull it back round, put a bit of a kink in that end. Get your classic heart type of shape, and that really is about it. That's all you need to do. Get the other one hot and do the same on that side. And you can see, just gently tap it round, pushing it over as you tap, pull it back, bit of a bend in there, and that is fairly close to being it. I've just got to tickle about a bit. I'd like to get them pretty much the same. Open it up a little bit, push it on here and there. Again, don't work it too hard, otherwise you'll end up with these nasty flats. I keep on about the flats. Now I'm going to get the whole lot hot and pull it back in together. Just try and sort of finish it off. So now it's all warm. You can just gently tap it around. See, I'm using the roundness of the beak to keep the shape. Tickle about for hours. You know, you can spend a lot of time, but I'm going to try and not spend too much time. I like to get it right-ish, but I don't want to make the video too long. But I do want to actually sell these, so if I'm going to make it, I want to make it fairly good. And that, I think, for the time being, will do. For the purposes of the video, I'm going to cut this one off and make the hook end. So let's cut that one off. Okay, so cut that off. Again, at about 6 inches from the weld, from there. So it's 6 inches both ways, really. Fairly simple thing to remember. Now I'm just going to point this one, same as we did the other ends, before we turn that into the hook. Again, we'll have a bit of a close-up. Exactly the same. work on the square. You can see how easily it's coming down. And that's not a particularly heavy hammer either, that's only about £1.5 I think. See all these people pounding away with these great big rounding hammers. You don't need them. There you go for the first heat. Now we're going to knock the corners off. And bring it into a round. Again, not very heavy. It's knocking all the corners off, because every time you hammer one bit you're making another corner, so you're just hammering all the, or say corner, another square bit sticking up, looks like a corner, so you just end up with, you know, a hexagon, then an octagon, and just keep going and going and going until it comes round. And I say for this job it doesn't need to be perfect. Obviously, you know, you can fiddle about and get it as perfect as you want, but I'm trying to make these commercially. You know, if I want to knock out a few to sell, I want to be able to do it quickly, which is why I sort of MIG welded the bits, the other branch on, rather than fire welded. Right, before we go any further, I want to put a hole in here, or no, I want to put a dent in here so I can drill a hole through it. So I'm going to punch it with either this punch, which is my 3/8 stud punch for when I'm making the shoes, but it's just a focus. It's just an old Allen key, or Allen wrench, drawn down into a punch. I want to put that in there, but that actually might be a bit big for that bit of weld. So let's see what else we've got. This is the next one down, 5/16, but that's a bit knackered. That's a 1/4 one, but that's might do. No, I'll tell you what I will use. This one. This is my latest one I've built for stud punching. Yeah, I think we'll use that. That'll make life a lot easier. So right, we're going to get that one hot and then punch it with that one. It's easier to do it now before you bend the hook, because you can keep it all flat, keep everything nice and straight. You'll see why. Now try and line it up, get it in the middle, and that's not quite, so we'll lean it over a bit, get it a little bit more the centre, or nearer the centre, and I'm going to open it up a little bit with that bigger punch. That's the 3/8 one, no, the 5/16 one, and I don't want to punch right through, so I'm just going a bit steady. I just want to put like a countersink so I can drill a smaller hole in the middle of it. You can put a screw in to hold it onto the wall, and if I can, oh, dropped it on the floor. If I can actually pick it up, you can see what's happened. If it'll focus. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, and that's just put a little centre dot in the middle there. That was just the shape of the punch I used, the last one. I'm going to centre dot that, and that's where I shall drill. But you can see it's gone a bit bent, and the arms have opened up a bit. So I just need to tickle about with it, straighten it up, level it up, and obviously that's much easier doing it now before the hook's on there. So I'm just going to get that warm and see if we can tidy that up a bit. Zoom out a bit so we can see what we're doing. There we go, got that nice and warm again. Just gently, you don't need to tap very hard at all. So using the beak again, just to keep the shape. You don't want to go too mad, otherwise you can really distort it quite quickly. You go too mad. The hammer, just bring that back a little bit, open it up again, knock it on. And so you can fiddle about for hours trying to get it right, but you've just got to sometimes say enough's enough, that'll do. And obviously I haven't got to that stage quite yet. I'm hardly hitting it because I don't want to distort it, and again the flats word. So now I'm going to put the hook on the end, because I have decided enough's enough. Right, now you want the hole towards you, facing up, and then bend the point away from you. Just bring it round and keep it moving. Tap it and move it, tap it and move it. And that will make sure it keeps it nice and round. There you go, just a nice little hook on the end. It's just a feature, it's nothing more. So then you want to bend the other way up. Actually no, that's a lie, you want to bend it down. So bring it up towards the hole. Caught myself out then. Alright, I'm just going to cool out the very end, very hook, so I can hit it without distorting it. So we're going to bend that down. Obviously, as you can see, I can't see there very well, I'll do it over this bit. I can hit that quite hard. Because I've cooled it out, it's not going to distort it. I'm actually going to stop for a second and move the camera because I can't quite see what I want to do. That's better. Alright, start again. Alright, warmed it up again. Just pull it back so I keep that bit quite straight. I don't want to get it too round at the bottom. You see what I mean? I want to keep it sort of flat against whatever it's going on, a wall or whatever, and then the hook come out from it. I don't want it coming away too early from the wall. Have a look, see if it's straight. That's not quite. You want it sort of straight both ways. That's not bad. And then check that it's level. You want it to sit level against, say, the wall or wood or whatever it's going on, door, whatever. Right, I'm calling it a day, that's it. All I've got to do is drill the hole in there, clean it up with a wire brush, and I think you can make that shorter or longer, do whatever you like with it, but I think that'll do for me. 6 inches and 6 inches. Easy to remember, and there it is, cleaned up. I've drilled the hole through it, and I think that will look quite nice on someone's door or wall or whatever. I might have made that heart a little bit fatter, might do it on the next one. But that's the beauty of handmade stuff, each one's different from the next. So I hope you like that, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.